I welcome you to this session of ISO 45001 2018, and today we are going to discuss clause number 7.2 competence. So as usual, first of all I'll read out the requirement to you as given in the standard. Clause 7.2 competence. The organization shall A. Determine the necessary competence of workers that affects or can affect its occupational health and safety performance. B. Ensure that the workers are competent, including the ability to identify hazards on the basis of appropriate education, training, or experience. C. Where applicable, take actions to acquire and maintain the necessary competence and evaluate the effectiveness of the actions taken. And D. Retain appropriate documented information as evidence of competence. And there's a note below. Applicable actions can include, for example, the provision of training to the provision of training to, the mentoring of, or the reassignment of currently employed persons, or the hiring or contracting of competent persons. So this is all as given as the requirement in the standard for this clause number 7.2, and now let us discuss it in more detail. See, as we understand, the requirement is pertaining to the competence, and it is the top management of the organization who is naturally expected to determine for what particular jobs what competence is needed. When we talk of competence, then it is basically the education or the training and the experience. So, based on these three things, the organization's top management is supposed to identify the competence of the various people working at the various levels and document it. And once the competence requirement is documented, then the top management is supposed to ensure that the workers who are employed and who are put on specific jobs, they are competent, including their ability to identify the hazards. They should be able to identify the hazards related to or associated with the kind of work which they are doing on the basis of appropriate education, training, or experience. So it will depend on what kind of education they have, what training they had received, and what experience they have in life with regard to that particular job which they are currently doing. Okay, but clause number C says, where applicable, if the people are not competent enough, I would say, then where applicable, the organization is supposed to take actions to acquire and maintain the necessary competence for the workers and evaluate the effectiveness of the actions taken. That means if you are training the workers, you have to evaluate whether the training was effective or not. So whatever action is taken, you have to evaluate the effectiveness of that action taken to fill in the gap of that competence. And C, where applicable, take actions to acquire, maintain, and necessary competence and evaluate the effectiveness of the actions taken. And D, retain appropriate documented information as evidence of competence. That means competence records have got to be maintained by the top management. What is their basic competence, and then further on what training was provided to them, and what is the current level of competence of the various people who are associated with the jobs which are related to occupational health and safety performance of the organization. So the records with regard to all this have got to be maintained. And the note says that applicable actions, that means the actions which the top management is going to take, it may include, for example, the provision of training. That is the very first thing. You may like to train the people on the job so that they become more competent for that particular job. And mentoring, that means providing guidance to the people who are working. So, mentoring or reassignment of the currently employed persons. If you feel that reassignment can fill in the gaps, and wherever competence is less, you can provide a better person by simply reallocating the work to the people, then that has to be done by the top management. And hiring or contracting of the competent persons. If there is nobody who is able to fulfill the requirement of a particular job, then the top management can definitely hire the people from outside, and the competent persons can be taken on hire, or the job can be given on contract. So contracting or hiring is a possibility which the top management will definitely do if necessary. So this is all that is given in this clause, and I hope you have understood the requirement well and fully. And if there is anything which is not clear to you, please give your comment below this video, and I'll try to clarify the things to you. And if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and give me a like, and I'll feel very happy if you share my videos with your friends and colleagues. And also, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon, so that as and when I load my videos, the notice regarding loading of the videos will reach you immediately, and you will be able to see my videos without any delay. Thank you very much, and see you again next Saturday. Bye.